half an hour to get here, so I don't hold it against any of the board members that are not here today. There is something fantastic with the traffic. I think there is a concert or something. So anyway, so that's my welcome to you. Sorry?
The concert's ironically by an artist called Weekend.
Is that right?
Okay.
That's a big deal.
On a Tuesday.
All right. So that's my welcome to you. I'm going to go to the next item on the agenda. Is there anybody here that would like to address the committee? Any public comments? What does that mean?
Daniel's online, but he's okay.
Oh. So there is nobody here that wants to address the committee.
The sign-up sheet has no one signed up either.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to close the public comment section and go to the fourth item on the agenda, which is comments from the board members. Any board member wants to address the committee, make a comment? Complain about something? No? You guys are easy today. All right. Very well. If any of the board members comes later and the board doesn't mind, we can let them comment when they arrive. Next item on the agenda is contacts and disclosures. Does anybody have anything to disclose to the committee? Did you engage in any conversations, or did anybody reach out to you? I see nobody, so thank you. We're going to go to the next item on the agenda, which is the minutes from the last meeting, July 15. Did you all got the copy of the minutes? They are in front of you. If you want to spend some time reviewing them, and let's see if there is any comments or changes that need to be made.
I would just know I wasn't at the last meeting,
Okay.
so I can't really comment on whether they're accurate, but.
Very well.
Neither was I.
So,
Okay.
I don't know if you want to hold off on approving them because the two of us, I don't know how you want to handle it.
I mean, I would abstain.
Can they make a motion to approve? Can they vote on? Yes? Okay. But you like the poetry of it, right? I mean, it was beautifully written.
It's
Beautifully written.
gorgeous.
No
the
typos.
formatting,
Okay,
beautiful.
very well. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? All right. The minutes are approved. I'm going to sign it as I was asked to do.
Well, Dante's not here today.
No, that is not. I didn't see where there was a name of it. That's not required. You can just strike through that.
Yeah, when I printed this, we didn't know who that was yet until we looked back at the February meeting minutes. So we do know who that was appointed.
I mean, I think it's acceptable as long as one of the officers signed it. Should Fabian ever not be in attendance, the vice chair would be the signer in your absence anyway.
Okay.
So,
Everything you say is great, with the exception of my name is Fabian. All right.
Do we
is
spell
it
something
misspelled on here?
wrong somewhere?
No, I just say Fabian in Spanish.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Trey, you want to give us your update?
We had a little bit of technical difficulties on getting the stuff on the screen, so I apologize for that. moving forward on our next meetings, September through the balance of the year, I think I've communicated to everybody, we will be back in the Sunny West Conference Center. They did finish remodeling over there, so I think we'll have a home without jumping around here moving forward. And I can email you guys pretty much. I want to get more proactive and be able to email you guys these documents a week ahead of time as we get in the groove. So you've got time to digest stuff. Obviously, with having information under your belt, we can move through the meetings quicker and be able to, make decisions, accomplish some things a little bit faster when we have it ahead of time. So I promise you, we'll get proactive here on the next meeting to get that added to you. I'll probably just read through this verbatim a little bit, and I'll probably ad-lib a few things too of what we've got going on for Ann, and I know Michael and a couple of other people that I haven't met yet. We've been trying to establish some individual meetings just to talk through strategy and visit and do some things. Michael and I did visit last week, and I need to schedule some time with the rest of the team in order to do that. But basically from our survey earlier that we sent out this week, our monthly updates will be formatted in that response that you gave us, which is kind of the way this format you'll see moving forward. Again, our feedback from the survey only had 3 respondents, so I definitely welcome y'all's input, and even over the next week to 10 days, if you can get to that survey and give us some feedback on some things, it'll help set some direction and put some things in motion on what you guys want to do. Again, currently our functions and scope includes our Department of General Service construction contracts currently, as you know. There are conversations regarding inclusion of Metro Public School projects. And again, for the board to make recommendations and revisions to anything for Metro Council or our procurement processes, we obviously recognize a need for additional training. For Ann and a few others, my first 90 days here has been, taking snapshots of our sites, what are Metro's policies and procedures, and learning all those systems and everything. Training myself along with our internal teams as well, meeting with those departments and, being able to, okay, what's our current situation today? We've got to be able to communicate that to the board and know what our processes are today before we can make recommendations, right? So we've been doing that here over the next 90 days. Some of the summary update here is going to be a little bit redundant, but again, kind of a brain dump, if you will, on some things that we've been doing and working on just to keep you up to speed. And as noted below here on the 3rd page, the next steps are going to outline some of the topics for consideration that we just mentioned. Right now, bylaws and the board function criteria are under legal review right now. I apologize wholeheartedly that we've still taken some time to go through that with a fine-tooth comb. Derek can speak to a little bit of that today too, but again, it'll probably warrant another bylaws subcommittee meeting and be able to get that back in front of this board for adoption and approval, depending on what comes back on the September meeting. So we'll keep y'all informed of that. I should be able to distribute that to you guys too ahead of that meeting, so we can get that under our belts as well. Jumping down, number 2, project highlights. Again, just to dive into some of these safety snapshots on some of our projects to give you guys an idea of some of the projects we have on Department of General Services. We have a big Nashville youth campus. Our new juvenile justice center is under construction over here on Trinity Lane. Some of you may have seen that. We awarded that contract to Bell Construction. It's over a $250 million project. Right now, full campus, there's over 200 workers on site. Completion date tentative for spring of 2027. Again, a lot of that activity is in coincide with the Titan Stadium and the existing Juvenile Justice Center, which will be demoed ahead of that fall football schedule. So we're kind of under the gun with those, trying to make that happen out there and coordinate this project as well. From a safety standpoint, happy to report, 0 accidents to date. Over 280 days, work days on that site now with no incidents. Another big project, Metro Nashville Police Department, the new Southeast Precinct on Murfreesboro Road. Again, you might have seen some of these projects, $30 million site was awarded to American Constructors. They are wrapping that project up. We're getting down to punch work and landscaping and a lot of things are getting coordinated for FF&E and working with police department on moving here over the next 30, 60 days. Typically, that project's had about 75 workers on it. Again, 0 incidents in 1,560 days. Some of these safety KPIs and criteria that you'll see as we move forward are some things that you guys might want to track, and we can establish those as far as performance criteria for our safety areas. So you'll see how those are notated in here when we move forward with those. Some people track their incident rates by days on a particular project. We do look for, company overall for their safety ratings, and some of them listed as man hours. So, that one's over 400,000 man hours on that particular project right now. Again, that one's looking to complete here this next month and be complete there. TW Frierson over at Peeler Park, new mounted patrol barn up there, new $10 million facility up there is finalizing substantial completion now and final punch work for that project. Again, 0 incidents in over 400 days on that project with about an average of 50 workers on site, and it's up there completing now. Like the Juvenile Justice Center and the barn, there'll be some celebrations obviously within Metro for topping out parties that are approaching with the Juvenile Justice Center, as well as grand openings and move-ins for some of these new facilities that are complete. Right now, a couple new projects that are coming online. They're in development stage now is with the fire department. We've got fire halls number 24 and 25 that's going to get started here probably before fall. They're in the design development phase. I assume Mike chime in if I've got some of these in the wrong category or terminology. Both of these projects have been awarded to One American Constructors moving forward, and a new company out of Atlanta I've got some history with a little bit too, or some contacts and relationships with a company called Reeves Young. I think they have been doing some of our Metro water projects here recently, and so they've established a new relationship with Metro, and we're gone through the evaluation process with them and executed a contract for them on one of the fire halls. Another one for TW Frierson's a new Metro Police Department impound lot. This is going to be a new $13 million facility, and it's in pre-construction phase right now, just to give you a snapshot of some of these new projects coming online.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When are these two projects, the bidding is a design build, or is it going to get?
On those, Mike, I'd have to ask you clarification on those.
They're both at the same point in design. They're both in the early design phase. One is a design-build contract. The other will have a CM at risk separate contract, but they're both on the same schedule, and they're both, Fire Station 25 is a little ahead, but they're in the schematic design phase.
Was the contract signed, I take it, with them? I'm asking because if we choose to do something in this committee, is it early enough that it will impact those two contracts or not?
Those are going to be close. It's possible. I think as we move forward, looking at some of these training opportunities and look at our contract documentation and with Dennis' team on outlining some things that are of concern, obviously with safety and our pay application world. Again, that might be a fast track training opportunity that we bring up at our September meeting to review some stuff quickly as far as the language goes and see if there's any red flags or issues with the board.
I guess if it will be helpful if we know if there is a deadline coming up that we need to be aware of. So if the committee wants to do something, they can do it. I have a feeling that the time has passed, because if there is already a contract and we wanted to make any adjustments, we don't really have time to make an amendment to the contract without creating any cost for the city.
Understand. I don't know if Dennis can weigh in on where that might stand, or Mike, either one.
Yeah, I'm not aware of it. We've got 100 solicitations going on at any given point in time, so me.
I don't know if anybody can hear me, but both of those have gone through.
You probably want to be on the record, you probably want to turn on them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Hello, everybody. Mike Leonard with General Services. The Fire Station 25, the architectural selection has already happened. That's in the works. The Reeves Young contractor has already gone through the solicitation and the RFQ evaluation process. That's where the contract is included in that agreement. And we may be far on that one. The other contract, we haven't, I think we're in the process of trying to get it signed. That's the touch point. Maybe we look to Dennis to procurement of, you don't want to swap contracts right at that magical point. But if the committee wants to, or the board wants to review the contract, and if there's minor edits, then, you know, I think we may have opportunities to address those. But when we put a solicitation out, and Dennis can speak to this, that might be the end point of input, I would think. So Trey, working with Trey, we can keep those dates on the calendar of what projects do we have coming up in the solicitation process. I think that gets to your question.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to ask the committee to haphazardly come up with feedback for the contract until we have a bylaw together and we, as a committee, have decided what the priority should be. But once we are over with that process, then I think it will be helpful if we know those dates. That way we can, in a timely manner, provide feedback to you. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Trey. Sorry for interruption.
No, one of the things I've got on here notated as well, we're going to develop a project status report that kind of just shows the flow of new projects coming up, where they are in the stage of contract through start, and as the other ones fall off, it'll be a progressive type project status is what I term it, and we're in the process of developing that too, so it'll give you a bigger picture snapshot rather than just these little highlights that I've got in this report. So it'll be a separate Excel spreadsheet to see where everything stands big picture wise in the flow. New construction managers here recently. I think we've mentioned it before to you guys. Metro currently utilizes capital project solutions for a lot of our projects, and we have established 2 new service agreements with a couple other companies here now, construction managers, the Cumming Group and JLL. And so those teams are in place and will probably be assigned to a couple of these new fire halls as we come about starting those projects. So we do have 3 construction manager teams that work with our ownership and general services and Mike and Doug's team for these new projects coming online. Subcontractor meetings, again, as I've gone out and made the safety snapshots, if you will, and researched a lot of what current processes and procedures that our GCs and construction managers have on our sites. I've done that with all of our projects right now, which is about 7 or 8 of them. I have a presentation that kind of gives those statistics out there too that we'll be able to present more information on as we meet with the subcontractor base now, particularly on our juvenile justice center. I have initiated conversations with their next sub-tier trades under Bell Construction. Examples are Cooper and Century Steel, Lithco Concrete, and Gaylord Electric I'm meeting with this week. Lee Company's a big one that I've already met with too, because they also do a lot of our maintenance within Metro of a lot of our different facilities on our operations side. A new one out there too that will work with Bell is CIP. It's Charlie Irwin Paint, local company down here in Franklin. So as I start to develop, taking those safety information from those companies, it'll add to the statistics in our reporting from a safety standpoint. We're on all of our sites all the way through all of our subcontractors. So look for that here in upcoming meetings. Complaints and contract issues. I mean, right now, currently, unless Dennis provides information on some of this with Ava and our contracting department, we don't really have any complaints related to safety or contract issues right now within our projects. But didn't know if Dennis had any updates on that or has any specifics that we may or may not need to address or know about.
Yeah, currently related to the scope, we don't have any complaints. I do have a question though, Trey. So we talked about creating a process for complaints to come in, whether they be anonymous or not. And I didn't see in the other data whether or not we had any kind of solution to that or anything we need to investigate.
Sure. I mean, there's some avenues that I think we've probably touched on and talked about. At least I might have done it to myself. But again, Metro does have some things in place, like I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Hub Nashville site. You know, you can go in there and plug a complaint of fixing a pothole or trying to get to, property standards or permits and things of that nature, I kind of envision big picture, there might be a button out there too that would lead to our board for the issues and functions that we've been tasked with. It's an option. Again, creating more awareness out in the community through, literally posters, business cards, things of that nature. I know our Nashville hub puts out, and including the codes department, puts out the little business cards too with email addresses and phone numbers and things of that nature for people that obviously have different issues or just basically seeking information on a process within Metro. And again, it's an idea I had that's in one of my presentations as well of an avenue that we might can consider doing that. And then of course the word of mouth. I'm sure you guys being in the community might have somebody contact you or issues that need to be brought before us if it's something that we are saddled to address, and we can document that internally and investigate it.
Yeah, council member.
I apologize for being late. Traffic is terrible, and you guys should have seen my road rage. I also realize I haven't eaten today, so I'm hangry. I caught a bit of the meeting before my signal went out, so I didn't catch the beginning of the presentation. As far as complaint procedures, would it be possible to create a subcommittee to work with you, Director, to create those processes for this department? I was looking at our contractor's scope of work in other cities, and I pulled his work from the Los Angeles Unified School District, and I printed off some of the sheets and the Public Works complaint form that they have. And I was looking at that as an example and some of the questions that they asked. So I'm wondering if we could create a subcommittee for that.
Do we need to vote on creating a subcommittee? Or is it my prerogative?
As I recall, I think you would appoint a subcommittee. It wouldn't hurt if you wanted to put it to a vote after you create and appoint it, but it certainly could. Could I ask for one clarification, though? It sounds like that was the complaint form itself, but when you say complaint procedures, are you talking about just the information you receive, or are you talking about a procedure of how complaints are handled?
Both, right? So the way we receive it, if the director's saying, he's looked at Hub Nashville, his ideas, he's talked about different things that he has, his presentation. So for the subcommittee to listen to that and work with him and see if there's any other ideas the group might have that they could contribute.
I was just seeking that clarification for the purpose of you establishing the committee. It would, I think, both be the how complaints are lodged, as well as the workflow after a receipt of a complaint.
Yeah, so and then the procedure that follows afterwards, right? So what would be the process that this board would take, right? Is it a warning immediately after for those matters to be handled? What would happen after the warning, right? In our bylaws, we have that we would submit that to state and federal agencies such as OSHA and TOSHA, just that procedure as well.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we expand it to, if they were tasked, they didn't stop at creating a form for complaints and the information to be lodged.
I appreciate your suggestion, Councilmember. I think it's a good idea. Before you came, we discussed how to act on contracts, for example, and I suggested that we finish the bylaw procedure before we start acting on things that we want to do. But I think it's worthwhile to start researching. So I suggest that, I want to ask Trey that we create a committee and we invite board members to participate in the committee and to research and make recommendations. And then once they are done, if it lines up with the bylaws, then we can, as a board, decide if we want to activate it or want to make adjustments or something. But I think it's an important subject to start studying and to look into. And if you took notes of all her recommendations, I basically just wanted the way she described it.
Sure, we
Pretty
can do
much.
that.
Thank you. And thank you, Councilmember.
Let's
Sorry,
see.
I didn't ask. Do any of you have any adjustments to what Councilmember described? No? Okay. Sorry, I didn't ask you before. Thanks. Okay.
Jumping down to board briefing, again, topic of the month. Again, these are some areas that we'll look down on the next steps that are, will create several opportunities for the board involvement and training topics for you guys to prioritize. We might could come out of this meeting tonight with obviously some prioritization for these next couple of meetings on what we need to, absorb ourselves on Metro's policies and procedures on where we can go next. One of the things that I've started to compile as well, based on looking at our functions of where the board was established, is again, segmenting out or taking snapshots, if you will, of current Metro policies and procedures outside of our Metro Court of Ordinance, our contracts, language, and things of that nature. I'm in the process again of developing what I call a qualifications and clarifications document, or a fact sheet, if you will. I'll probably put a little binders together for you guys to, kind of be a master reference document of different things that are out there that would kind of help train ourselves and use as a reference to know what our lane is and things of that nature as we develop authority and where we can go and where we can't go. So I'm in the process of putting that together for a presentation here soon. Board leadership, again, subcommittee formation. Again, the bylaws committee, as you know, was formed, and again, we'll lean on our legal and Derek's team on finalizing that for next meeting too, for that adoption, moving forwards in process. So again, as I mentioned before, there'll probably be another meeting with that bylaws subcommittee team meeting to bring recommendations on the upcoming September meeting. So we're going to make that happen. Really, the next big thing in here is the policy recommendations. Again, by resolution, when I first started, the big red flag was we were tasked with making recommendations to Metro Council with a July 1 deadline. We extended that to September, and I think the day after we extended that, I knew it probably wasn't going to happen. We've still got a little bit of work to do and things of that nature that we've already talked about. And I'm proposing to the team here, which documentation is there, and I've forwarded it to our legal to extend it to December 2nd, basically another 90 days, which is still only going to get us 3 meetings down the road for things that, we need to learn and decisions that we need to make and processes and procedures that we would want to put forth, obviously from an approval process, and maybe even more subcommittee or task force established to, gather the information to know where we need to go. It's just, I think all would agree it's going to take some more time, and I'm just recommending we push that to the December meeting at a minimum right now. So that documentation's there, and if that's something we need to vote on moving forward to get Derek to propose that to Metro Council, we can do that tonight.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, legal is going to have a couple of edits in the proposed resolution itself, so it wouldn't require the board to actually authorize the proposed resolution. But I would recommend that the board approve the future date that you would like to have the extension to, so you can complete recommendations about scope of safety plans and contractor payment application requirements. Those are the two things, the two subject matters that you are authorized to propose recommendations. And, legal doesn't make a recommendation as to which date you select. That's to be worked out at your own pace. But I do need to get the resolution finalized, and it'll be signed by Trey, us at legal, and someone in finance, so that it can be filed with Metro Council's office. We have an internal deadline of August 18th to start the process so that it can be placed on Metro Council's agenda for its September 2nd meeting. And a matter of privilege, if I could, council member, are you all still planning on having a September 2 meeting? Okay. Sometimes around the holiday, those meetings get moved or rescheduled. So that's my plan, is to meet the deadline of filing of August 18th with a resolution subject to you all electing the specific date that you want the extension to go to.
Okay, we heard a request by Trey and our lawyer to postpone the filing of the resolution. Is there any conversation or comments about it?
Do you think December 2nd is enough time? Do you want more time?
I'm gonna flip a coin if you want, Mike. I don't know. It's a lot of work to do from a board standpoint, obviously, with only 3 meetings, basically 2 meetings before, December meeting. We've got September, October, November would have to be something approved. Obviously, I think with what we're looking at and within our functions in our lane, I think there's probably going to be some homework involved. I'd probably have to be, doing some stuff ahead of time outside of the meetings to get prepared for it so we can make decisions quick during the meetings, obviously. The whole education process, too, of our current processes. I mean, here's the other part, too, after we present what our current policies and procedures are out there, you may not have any recommendations, right? That would be,
Okay,
the right ideal. Maybe we don't have any, there's always that chance. It's 50-50, and then it could be a lot of work that might put us till spring of next year. I don't know. It's a big variable.
She had raised her hand, she wanted to talk, and I didn't get around to stop you in time, sorry.
So Director, you don't believe that December would be enough time?
We could probably hold that thought for a minute, and we can look at it in our next steps down here to kind of see some snapshots of some topics and things that might drive a better decision there of just some of the topics of where I feel like we need some opportunities to educate and train ourselves on some things.
Yeah, I was looking accident rates, near misses. So I don't know if we could receive some of those statistics from, fire, MES, some of our hospitals, our unions, and then the toolbox we would, I guess, put together safety trainings, inspections. We haven't even begun, correct, of our own sites?
Yeah, I've done all inspections on all of our sites to date right now, and have all that information. I'd actually developed a little OSHA checklist, if you will. Again, my background as a construction project manager, I'm pretty savvy on what's required out there from TOSHA and state and federal levels of what's required on sites. And again, part of another presentation I have, again, some of our bigger GCs do utilize some other tracking and software programs to track all of these type things. One of the things too is, again, what does the board want to track? There's a lot of different KPIs out there involving safety. But I have taken that snapshot of all of our GC's performance and their statistics to date, and we're starting in on the subcontractor base here now this past week.
Got it. Given that December is around the holidays, I don't necessarily want you to be on a crunch schedule, coming up against the holidays. And I want council to pay attention to this as well. And the last meeting of December is always Ugly Sweater Council meeting day. And then we all go to the party afterwards. And so I don't want that to be on their mind. I want them to focus on this. And so I know that the first meeting of January is also canceled. It's the first time that we won't be having January meetings, right, this term. So the second meeting of January would be, I think that makes sense to do the second, the third week of January, and going forward, that makes more sense, right? It's the beginning of the year. it seems clean to me. So I guess that would be my suggestion to the board, if we're open to that.
Thank you, Councilmember. Trey, what do you think?
I'll always ask for more time. I want to make sure we're making the right decisions, the right recommendations.
Okay.
Want to make sure everybody understands.
Will that date be fine by
It
you?
would, it would,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
I'm flexible and it
So
would.
do I have a motion to adjust this resolution to reflect the second meeting, well, technically the first meeting in January 2026? Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? All right, thank you. So that's settled. What's next on your?
Again,
report?
down at the bottom of that second page, again, as we look at performance criteria and the KPIs, again, I just ask the board members to, keep in mind of what you want to track, right? There's a lot of different things. Councilwoman Sepulveda mentioned some of them down here. Again, a lot of the GCs and subs track, days, so many days on a project without accidents or incidents, near misses. I do have a presentation on some of the programs that they utilize, like the toolbox talks and things on what they measure. We want to probably mirror what they have. So again, for our next meeting, think about, what you might want to track. What kind of statistics do you want to see and be reported back to you guys? Again, last page, in conjunction with that, we are currently researching and reviewing several software applications out there dedicated to construction safety. And our consultants, our partnerships we are looking at a demo for their dashboard of what they utilize and recommend to cities like ourselves this Thursday. So I'll get with Daniel and Eric and their team, and we'll be looking at their stuff this week. You guys may want to do some outside research as well. I've looked at 12 different programs so far over the last 60 days. A couple of them that are coming to the top of the surface is a company that's called safetyreports.com. Real user-friendly, cost-effective. A lot of our current GCs are using that particular program. There's another one that's more facility-based that we're looking at called Gen Suite with a G. We're demoing second review with that with some of our internal operating departments on Friday this week. I won't waste your time on the other ones. Bell currently uses a program called HammerTech. T.W. Frierson has one that's called eMod. There's a lot of them out there, but right now, if it's an area we want to look at too, for Metro to establish our reporting and have a really nice dashboard for our safety reporting internally on our projects, the safety reports is a good one. So again, it's another avenue I'm investigating as an option, rather than trying to come up with an Excel spreadsheet and a monthly executive summary that's just bullet points and things that would, show charts, performance, percentages and things of that nature, which would be more relevant to what you guys want to see. So again, you might want to look at those programs a little bit outside, and you'll see where some of those ideas might come from. Again, for the board in the next steps area, as we move through some of these training opportunities, I have reached out to TOSHA office here directly, a couple of other safety coordinators here within Metro. We actually made a visit to their site, kind of told them what we were doing, what we're looking at. They're welcome to come in and do a presentation to the board if you guys are interested at any of our future meetings. Also, it did reach out to the state involving some areas that they have roles and authorities over to. They're welcome to come in and do a presentation as well. Again, some of these I would look for you guys to prioritize. Again, training opportunities with Dennis and Ava, our contracts admin department too, to come in and be able to provide and talk more intelligently about our contract language and what our Metro role as an owner of these projects and how all those relationships are connected through our contracting process. That probably would be a priority right now to get started with if we are going to make some recommendations on, safety language and things of that nature that they would be able to inform us on. in conjunction with that, down there at the bottom too, our procurement and our business assistance office, again, we do have requirements within Metro with our contracts, a certain percent of small business, veteran-owned, women-owned entities and things of that nature. I did talk to Jeremy Fry today about coming in and possibly doing a presentation to the board too that shows their compliance efforts. Some of you may be familiar with those efforts too of assuring through our payment application process how they monitor that compliance and communicate with those teams very well throughout the life of a project. So they're welcome to come. They're eager to come in too and do a presentation if you guys wish. I think I did send all the board members a link to our Metro Code of Ordinances, again, of the different areas that are going to affect our lane and our authority and things of that nature. I'm not sure if you guys had time to look at some of those. Again, this qualifications and clarifications document, I've segmented out some of those areas too for reference and just to help educate us of what we require our general contractors to submit to us, from payment applications to safety requirements and where that current language is today. So again, other departments that are pending with our coverage and our interest with the schools and Metro Water and NDOT, still conversations are in process with those entities as well right now. But again, I would look to you guys on these next steps to maybe prioritize some of those areas of what you feel you want to do next on those meetings, because we can easily set those presentations up.
Thank you. Is that the end of your report?
Pretty much at the bottom. Other notes there. Again, wanted to reach out to meet with you guys individually. I know Ann had some issues. We were trying to meet individually with you guys just for where I could build some more relationship with the board and strategize and talk about some roles and responsibilities and next steps. And I want to try and reach back out to the team.
That's a great idea.
And make those introductions again. And then one thing that we were looking at too, and wanted your all's input, our department, you know, obviously we're engaged with a lot of our GCs, big relationships out there. And for you guys, where I've mentioned it before, or for Ann or even for Michael, you know, with my history here in Nashville, Middle Tennessee, in the construction industry, I know all these GCs. I've worked for some of them. I've got friends and coworkers that do work on our projects out there. So it's easy for the relationships to be able to go on the sites and done what I've done so far. There's a lot of trade organizations out there too, and didn't know if you guys had any opinion one way or another. And again, considering our legal department, what Metro can and can't do, we've been kind of investigating memberships in ABC and AGC and NSC. And what are those acronyms, right? The ABC is the Association of Builders and Contractors here in Nashville, is a trade organization group. They have a huge safety program out there that actually Matt Neal, one of our board members, is a part of on their safety task force. And actually the safety director with Bell Construction and safety director with TW Fire Center on that board as well. And there's a lot of opportunities there too for OSHA training and networking with those groups. And I didn't know if you guys would be interested in joining those type of organizations.
Are you recommending that the board join them or the members?
If we had a Metro membership there too, it would probably, I'd have to reach out to Derek to see if it would be able to have any board members that might want to participate in any of those type events or training opportunities, or if it might be a conflict of interest. I would look for your direction on that, if we could do that or not.
I am not comfortable recommending that we join an organization that we are supposed to keep an eye on.
Sure.
Or an industry. And
Sure.
so, but it will be a matter of checking with legal to see what they think, and then we'll have to discuss it in the committee.
Sure.
But thank you for suggesting.
I can bring some more information to you guys too of what they do and what their, you know, goals and things are, and whether or not we need to either participate or stay away from it. I'm all
Well,
either
there's
way.
all kinds of groups in Nashville, unions and all kinds of memberships that if we sign up to one, then we will end up,
Sure.
you know. So let's tread carefully and see, you know, how to do that.
Sure.
And we can have, that can be part of the conversation of the bylaw committee.
Sure.
Thank you.
That was all. Again, we'll just urge the board members to get some feedback from the survey stuff that we have back to, so we can continue to hone our direction.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your report. I want to do something out of order. If legal, it's fine with it. I'd like to actually call a motion to vote on that committee that we created before. I ignored that and I apologize. I didn't mean to be a little dictator here. So can I have a motion from somebody about creating that committee, that subcommittee?
Motion to create the subcommittee?
Thank you so much.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose? All right, thank you. Sorry that I missed that step before.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Do all of our subcommittees have to meet in person, or is any of that allowed to happen virtually?
That's a great question.
Under the current Open Meetings Act, the board, as well as its subcommittees or committees, wouldn't be permitted to meet virtually. If someone wanted to listen in, you could do that virtually if it's being broadcast, but you wouldn't be able to participate unless you're in person. The state legislature has allowed, not for meetings, but for communications between legislative body members, but they haven't extended it beyond legislative, and you're not a legislative body, you're an administrative body. So I don't have a good answer that you would like right now. There have been efforts to get the state legislature to perhaps relax some of that, but so far it hasn't happened.
Okay. I guess the only thing that we could do is to have flexibility on the place to meet. So, Trey, if a subcommittee wants to meet, I don't know, in South Nashville or something, there are libraries or other locations where they could do that. And that may make it easier for the subcommittee members to get together.
Sure, and I think Derek, you may mention it, forgive me if I repeat what you probably said, but again, I know we don't have to broadcast through the Nashville network on any of the subcommittee meetings, but they do need to be made public. Obviously, we'll come up with the agenda, make that public and open for any comment stuff too, and can pretty much have that anywhere as long as public access is available, like you said, like with the libraries and stuff, is easily done.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the subcommittee updates. Do we have an update from the subcommittee? The bylaw committee?
Matt was actually appointed vice chair of our bylaws subcommittee, and Matt can probably bring us up to speed on some stuff in addition to what we may have already talked about.
Yeah, so sorry for being late. More or less, we've met as of, I think, 3 weeks ago. We've all had some verbal agreements about what needs to be included in the bylaws. It's been formalized by Trey. It's been sent over to legal. I think it's in legal's hands now for review. Once we get that back, make sure that we're playing by the rules. Everything we have are things that we're allowed to implement within the committee. Then we'll present them to the board, and those will be the bylaws.
Thank you, Chair. Are there any questions about the subcommittee work? Yes, sir.
Just to elaborate, I was on vacation last week, but my teammate, he's given me a redlined version of the bylaws, so I expect to get that over to Trey. And that version could be circulated to the committee before your next scheduled meeting. And
Okay, we appreciate the work of the subcommittee. Thank you. It's an important job, so we appreciate it. I guess that's the only subcommittee, so that's about it. And the next item on the agenda is new business. Anybody wants to bring anything up? All right, we may be able to finish on time. The next item is adjournment, but last chance for anybody to make any comments. We said before that if anybody got here late, they could address and make comments to the committee. So I don't know if you have anything to share besides that.
No, I'm good. I think if we can go back to the Howard School, it'd be convenient.
We all suffer the same traffic you did.
I know,
Yeah.
but no,
So
I'm all
again, as
set.
I said before, Matt, rest assured, this is, I think, our last musical chairs event. We will be back in Sunny West Conference Center moving forward on balance of the year.
Great.
Yes, board member.
So I have a recommendation for the next meeting. So I noticed in Trey's survey, there were questions related to the procurement process and contract management and that sort of thing. So my recommendation is for the next meeting that we get the procurement team along with maybe Ava and basically come in and do, I'm going to say a project overview of how solicitation works and the process we go through. That would be my recommendation based upon the information I see, and then I think Trey already had it on his information as well.
I appreciate the offer. I think it's a great idea. And if we can schedule it in, I think it will be something important for us to learn. They do great work. They have to navigate a very delicate law system, so I think it's important for us to understand that. Thank you.
We'll reach out to Dennis Further and Ava on that September 23rd meeting, which I think 23rd, right? Yep.
Yes. Well, if there are no more comments, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor to adjourn, say aye.
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 Oppose? All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Trey, for your work, and look forward to see you guys next meeting.
Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.